Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Well, some cell phone video has just been released that appears to show the moment that two Texas deputies gunned down a man who was holding his hands up. Now, this video is important because it contradicts the police's original version of events. Now, this video was obtained by a local news station, and this shows the moment that Bexar County Sheriff's deputies were responding to a domestic violence call against 41-year-old Gilbert Flores. It was in the front yard of a home outside of San Antonio, Texas. Flores was suspected of assaulting a woman and infant inside the residence. So, you know, he's no angel here. Now, police said that Flores appeared to have a knife when they arrived, and he attempted to resist and fight back. Now, these two deputies also claimed that they tried to use non-lethal force to stop Flores, including tasers and riot shields, but their efforts proved fruitless and that they had to open fire on the man, killing him. Well, now the local news station acquired this cell phone video that contradicts that story. It was filmed by a neighbor, and it shows clearly that the police tried really little, if anything, to employ non-lethal force. Now, when the news station decided to put this cell phone video footage out there, the sheriff's office condemned them for sensationalizing this story. They actually posted a message on Facebook denouncing KSAT 12 News for making this footage publicly available, calling it unethical and sad. Now, that right there is just insane because this affects us all. This is not just about, hands up, don't shoot, Black Lives Matter. This is about police are putting their word, their testimony down, and it's taken as a matter of fact. And it's only because this cell phone footage surfaced that we can see that perhaps that might not be the case. It affects us all. And this is, of course, the reason why you're sort of seeing what's happening in other news, because this over-militarization and unaccountability is now causing people to actually fire back at police. And we're having a story today of another cop being executed in Illinois. This was an Illinois police officer. He was shot and killed today. It sparked a massive manhunt still ongoing for two suspects, one black and one white. They also might be looking for another woman who may have been involved. And now this shooting comes just days after a Harris County, Texas deputy sheriff was executed while he was pumping gas. And, obviously we have the case of the two police officers in New York who were executed last year while sitting in their patrol car. And this is already causing a lot of people to come out and condemn the anti-cop rhetoric that's sweeping the nation, tying it to the Black Lives Matter movement. Sheriff David Clark actually went on CNN condemning this whole vulgar, vile, and vicious rhetoric that is out there. But, as we've reported, all this is going to do is cause the police to transform themselves into a small army. And it's going to just even further militarize the police state and cause this whole division, divide and conquer. We've got this other sensational video that's been posted there today with an angry white guy in a cowboy hat talking about how thugs' life don't matter. He cocks a pistol and talks about, that there might be another killing in Texas, but it's not going to be what you think, and to avenge the deputy's death. So he's calling on people now to start taking action, go and buy slingshots so they can throw rocks at any Black Lives Matter activist cars and things like that. So this is sort of what we predicted was going to happen. We told you this was going to be the case when we found out that Black Lives Matter was being controlled by George Soros. And, we knew it was going to be nothing but divide and conquer, us versus them, war against the cops, because that's what's necessary to create civil unrest. And so you might be saying, well, who is this George Soros? He seems like a nice guy. He funded $33 million to the Black Lives Matter movement. Well, no, actually, George Soros is public enemy number one.
Every life matters, and that is why this issue is so important. Black lives matter, white lives matter, all lives matter.
Black lives matter!
How long
before Black Lives Matter protesters are chanting, George Soros' divide and conquer scheme is what matters. The Washington Times reports, liberal billionaire George Soros has built a business empire that dominates across the ocean in Europe while forging a political machine powered by nonprofit foundations that impacts American politics and policy, not unlike what he did with MoveOn.org. In all, Mr. Soros gave at least $33 million in 1 year to support already established groups that embolden the grassroots, on-the-ground activists in Ferguson, according to the most recent tax filings of his nonprofit Open Society Foundations. The sad fact is, one of the 30 richest people in the world, not an American civil rights leader, is funding a divide and conquer movement that has disrupted political speeches, places of business, and the real progress Americans have made in the United States regarding race relations. Meanwhile, Soros has fueled the division in Ukraine.
George Soros admitting he's behind the open border move and the illegals pouring in, admitting he's behind Ukraine, saying, I did it, which I think he's taking too much credit. He's a big part of it. Saying they're part of the Arab Spring and turning loose all these groups. I mean, on every front, George Soros.
If it was a racist nation, we would not have had the top guy ahead of law as a black man, Eric Holder, and now Loretta Lynch, another black woman. We would not have the head of the United Nations. It was Susan Rice. You would not have a Secretary of State as Condoleezza Rice or Colin Powell or others. So let's not call it a racist nation. If you want to point the finger, point it at Obama, point it at Holder, point it at that low-life man who never convicted one head of the white shoe boys. Too white for you, Eric?
And we are distracted, just as the Cloward Piven strategy would have us. Of course, all lives matter. Of course, chanting pigs in a blanket will lead to execution of police.
Pigs in a blanket, fry like bacon! Pigs in a blanket, fry like bacon!
I don't think chanting or singing chants that are basically promoting killing police officers is peaceful.
And of course, inciting violence for the sake of violence is a trap.
I would prefer to be remembered as a person who was part of this resolution. Kids being born in this country, and we have to leave a legacy for them, something for them so it'll be easier for them to deal with problems, issues that come up, just like people that has made a movement towards peace and nonviolence all the way up to this point. It's important that we keep that going.
Ultimately, the 13 million black babies that Soros supported being wiped out and the 41% welfare spending increase Obama has brought us are the real steps backwards. And those ensnared by the violent elite engineered faux rights movement will eventually find themselves eager participants in a divide and conquer takedown scheme of the American dream, funded by the very people responsible for the hostile environment the Black Lives Matter movement is fighting to escape from.
All lives matter. That police officer that got killed by that black man because that black man listened to what y'all was saying by going out and killing white people. That police officer's life mattered. That 9-year-old girl in Ferguson, Missouri, that got shot in the head while she was doing her homework in a drive-by shooting that none of y'all protested, her life mattered.
So governments like to split people up, categorize human beings, divide so they can conquer them. There's people that don't even think that they can see the world because they need permission to see the planet Earth.
John Bound for Infowars.com.
Introducing Secret 12, the new Infowars Life vitamin B12 formulation. Most forms of vitamin B12 are highly processed and synthetic and could not be properly absorbed by the body. That's why for real results, so many are having to turn to painful B12 injections, which are known to have higher absorption rates. Now, InfoWarsLife.com is excited to announce that we can bring you our most bioactive, powerful form of B12 that has been developed with our exclusive perfected process. Secret 12 is a binary of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin. Secret 12 is simply taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. Discover the secret. Secret 12. Secure your revolutionary Secret 12 formula right now at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.